The winds howled like a beast in the night, furious and unyielding. Inside the walls of Willowbrook Orphanage, the cold crept into every corner. 8-year-old Liam huddled by the window, his thin body trembling as the wind rattled the glass. The room was dark except for the flickering light from the single candle Sister Margaret had left him. Outside, the night seemed endless, its chill seeping through the cracks in the old building. Liam pulled his thin sheet tighter around his body, counting the holes. 13. One for each year the director of the orphanage had labeled him unwanted. But tonight was different. There was something in the air that felt strange. A quiet anticipation hung in the atmosphere, as though the universe itself was waiting for something to happen. That was when the door creaked open. Sister Margaret's lantern cast long, eerie shadows across the room. The soft glow flickered over Liam's face as she stepped into the room, her footsteps light but purposeful. She carried something in her arms, a bundle. "Liam," she whispered, her voice barely a breath in the cold. "I brought you something special." The blanket she unfurled was unlike anything Liam had ever seen. It was thick, navy blue, and felt like warmth itself, a warmth he'd never known. It shimmered faintly under the flickering light. A single golden thread ran along the edge, catching the light like a sliver of the sun. Where did this come from?" Liam asked, his voice a nervous whisper. Sister Margaret's hands trembled as she tucked the blanket around him. "A guardian angel left it for you," she said, her voice trembling with something more than just cold. "But you must promise me, child, never lose this blanket." As she hurried away, Liam noticed two things that would haunt him for years. The dark stain near the corner of the blanket that wouldn't scrub out, and the way Sister Margaret had looked at him with eyes full of memories, like she was trying to remember something. That night, for the first time in his life, Liam slept warm. Liam Carter sat at his kitchen table, the old blanket spread out before him. He'd grown up in foster care, bouncing from one family to another, each time feeling more like a ghost. Yet this blanket, this strange, inexplicable object, had always been with him. He'd never understood why. As a history teacher, Liam was a man of facts, logic, and truth. But there were mysteries that simply didn't make sense, like this blanket, and why Sister Margaret had given it to him, a child she barely knew. After weeks of procrastination, Liam finally decided to take the plunge. The Ancestry DNA kit had been sitting unopened on his counter for weeks, but tonight, as the snow began to fall outside, he felt a sudden urge to find out more. "What's the harm in knowing?" his fiancée, Rachel, had said when she dared him to take the test. At 2:37 a.m., an email pinged into his inbox, dragging him out of sleep. He clicked it open, his hands still cold from the chill of the apartment. Match. 99.8%. Father, Richard Kensington. Liam's heart stopped. Richard Kensington. The name that made his blood run cold. The billionaire tech mogul who had died in a mysterious plane crash in 1992, the same year Liam had been born. Liam's hands shook as he scrolled through the results. Feverish Googling led him to a society page photo from that same year. It showed Richard Kensington, a proud father holding a newborn wrapped in a familiar blue blanket. The caption read, "Heir apparent. Richard and Eleanor Kensington welcome baby Matthew at St. Mary's Private Hospital." But the article ended with an unsettling postscript. Tragedy struck weeks later when infant Matthew succumbed to SIDS. The Kensingtons have requested privacy. Liam's heart thudded in his chest as he compared the blanket in the photo to his own. They were identical. But that meant only one thing. Liam wasn't Liam Carter. He was Matthew Kensington, the child who had supposedly died all those years ago. Liam stood in front of the dusty filing cabinets at the Willowbrook orphanage, his mind racing. His hands trembled as he pulled open the drawers marked 1992 to 1995. The records were sealed, locked away for a reason. The nun at the desk glanced nervously at him. "That year's records? They were sealed by court order," she whispered. "I'm not supposed to tell you this, but some things are better left untouched." Liam's eyes narrowed, the frustration building in his chest. He was done with secrets. He needed answers. Just then, a soft, hacking cough broke the silence. He turned to see Sister Agatha, her frail form hunched over, beckoning him into a storage closet. "I know what you're looking for," she rasped. "You're the Kensington boy, aren't you?" Her words hit him like a thunderclap. Sister Agatha, now nearly 90, slowly closed the door behind them, her voice trembling as she began to tell him everything. "Margaret tried to protect you," she wheezed, pointing at the corner of the blanket. "That stain, it's not dirt, it's blood. Your mother's." The story spilled out in fragments, pieces that didn't make sense at first, but soon began to form a terrifying whole. The Kensingtons were part of an underground group, the Loom Society, an elite circle of powerful individuals who believed certain bloodlines carried exceptional genes. When Richard Kensington discovered that they were secretly swapping babies to enhance the genetic quality of wealthy families, he threatened to expose the truth. But Richard never got the chance. His plane crash wasn't an accident. It was orchestrated. Eleanor Kensington, Liam's mother, had faked the death of her own child to protect him from the ruthless society. And Sister Margaret, a former maid in the Kensington household, had smuggled Liam out of the mansion the night of the crash, the only clue to his identity being that strange, inexplicable blanket. Liam's world spun. Every hurt, every hardship he'd endured, all the bullying, the loneliness, none of it had been random. It had all been the result of a twisted game played by the rich and powerful. And then Sister Agatha handed him something else, a rusted key, cold to the touch. "Take this," she said. "It's for you. Safety deposit box 347 at First National, but be careful, Liam. They're still watching." As he turned to leave, a sleek black sedan slowly drove past the orphanage, its tinted windows hiding the occupant's face. Inside the cold, sterile vault, Liam's heart pounded as he opened safety deposit box 347. It contained only 3 items: a birth certificate with Eleanor Kensington listed as his mother, a photo of Richard Kensington holding him wrapped in the same blue blanket, dated just 2 weeks after his supposed death. A letter, its edges yellowed and fragile, written in shaky handwriting. "Dear Matthew, if you're reading this, they killed me too. Your mother never wanted this. Find Dr. Chen at St. Mary's. She kept records of all the swapped children. The golden thread in your blanket? It's not thread, it's wire. The entire truth is hidden in the stitching. With love, Sister Margaret." Liam's fingers brushed the edge of the blanket, his eyes falling on the golden thread. He wasn't prepared for what he discovered next. The thread wasn't thread at all. It was microfilm. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. He glanced down at the Ancestry DNA app. New match, 99.9%. Mother, Eleanor Kensington. Last login, today. Liam's heart stopped. His mother was alive, and she was looking for him. The doorbell rang at 3 a.m. Liam stumbled to the door, his mind reeling with the revelations. Through the peephole, he saw a woman dressed in a tailored black coat, holding a gun in one hand and the identical blue blanket in the other. "Matthew?" Her voice was shaky. "We need to talk about your real father." Subscribe and follow for more thrilling stories.